The Dollmaker's Revenge. In the heart of a quaint, forgotten town nestled towering pines, there stood an old Victorian mansion. Its weathered façade loomed over the cobblestone streets, casting a shadow of dread upon those who dared to pass by. This mansion was home to the renowned dollmaker, Madeline Hawthorne, whose creations were said to possess an otherworldly beauty that both captivated and chilled the soul. The townsfolk whispered tales of Madeline's eccentricities and her obsession with her dolls. Some claimed to have seen her wandering the streets at odd hours, her eyes with an unearthly fervor. Others spoke of strange lights flickering in the mansion's windows long after midnight had come and gone. But it was not until the night of the blood moon that the true horror of Madeline Hawthorne's creations was revealed. Sarah Miller was a curious soul, drawn to the mysteries that lurked in the shadows. When she heard whispers of Madeline Hawthorne's dolls and the eerie mansion they called home, she felt an irresistible pull, urging her to the truth. On the night of the blood moon, Sarah gathered her courage and set out to explore the mansion. The streets were deserted, and an eerie silence hung in the air as she approached the imposing wrought iron gates. With trembling hands, she them open, the rusty hinges creaking in protest. The mansion loomed before her, its windows dark and foreboding against the crimson sky. Sarah's heart pounded in her chest as she stepped across the threshold, the musty scent of old wood and decay filling her nostrils. She hesitated for a moment, the weight of the unknown pressing down upon her, but her curiosity urged her forward. The interior of the mansion was a maze of winding corridors and shadowed alcoves, each step echoing through the empty halls like a whisper of the past. Sarah's footsteps faltered as she passed rows of glass-eyed dolls, porcelain faces frozen in eternal smiles. Their gaze seemed to follow her, their silent laughter mocking her intrusion. As Sarah ventured deeper into the mansion, she stumbled upon a hidden chamber concealed behind a velvet curtain. The room was bathed in an ethereal glow, casting eerie shadows upon the walls. At the center of the chamber stood a life-size doll, its features so lifelike that Sarah could almost hear it breathing. Mesmerized by the doll beauty, Sarah reached out to touch it, her fingers brushing against its icy skin. But as she did, a shiver ran down her spine, and she recoiled in horror. The doll's eyes had flickered with a malevolent gleam, and its lips curled into a wicked smile. Before Sarah could flee, the doll sprang to life, its porcelain limbs contorting into grotesque shapes. It lunged towards her with unnatural speed, as she raced through the labyrinthine corridors. But the mansion seemed to shift and twist around her, its walls closing in like the jaws of a trap. Sarah's breath came in ragged gasps as she stumbled blindly through the darkness, the echoing laughter of the dolls echoing in her ears. Just when she thought she could run no further, Sarah burst into the moonlit courtyard, the cool night air washing over her like a benediction. The dollmaker's eyes burned with an unholy light as she advanced towards Sarah, her dolls emerging from the shadows behind her. With nowhere left to run, Sarah could only watch in horror as the dolls closed in around her, their glass eyes glinting with malice. And as the blood moon cast its crimson glow upon the mansion, Sarah's screams echoed through the night, a chilling testament to the vengeance of the dollmaker's creations. In the days that followed, the townsfolk whispered of Sarah Miller's disappearance, but none dared to venture near the mansion that had claimed her. And as the years passed, the legend of Madeline Hawthorne and her dolls faded into obscurity, a dark chapter in the town's forgotten history. But deep within the shadowed halls of the mansion, the dollmaker's revenge lived on, waiting patiently for the next unsuspecting soul to wander into its grasp. And as the blood moon rose once more, casting its crimson light upon the world, the dolls stirred from their slumber, their porcelain faces twisted into wicked smiles. For more scary odd horror stories, please subscribe us.